Alright, what's up, Bulldogs? Today I am going to be doing a book review, and I am going to be discussing Robert Greene's new book, The Laws of Human Nature. You can check it out here. I listened to the audio version of the book on Audible. I highly recommend it, and it is how I pretty much read most of my books. I get through most of them while I'm running, while I'm doing marathon training and running like 40 or 50 miles a week. Listen to Audible at 3x speed or 3.5x speed now. Now, this is a book that I highly anticipated. I really wanted to get this book. I pre-ordered this book because it is by one of my favorite authors of all time, Robert Greene. He's written quite a few really good books, and I like his style of writing because what he does is he combines human nature psychology, philosophy with history, and uses historical stories and context in order to make a point about something, right? Whether it be the laws of power, whether it be how seduction or the forms of seduction, whether it be the ways to wage war and combat, all of these things he utilizes. Also, someone who does this as well is or actually, you know, The Obstacle of the Way really reminded me of a Robert Greene book, and of course that is by Ryan Holiday, who was actually a mentee of Robert Greene, so that makes sense. So let's talk about this book specifically. The laws are the laws of human nature. I want to say the laws of power, but anyway, the laws of human nature. I was not as impressed with the book as I was hoping to be. I think a lot of it is just because I'm already familiar with a lot of these things from a lot of the pop psychology type of books that are out there. You know, I'm already familiar with these things, whereas I feel like 48 Laws of Power, that was something a little bit unique. I also feel like Robert Greene kind of backed down a little bit because the 48 Laws of Power was such a controversial book. He got into a lot of trouble, not a lot of trouble, but a lot of people did not like the book, did not like the idea of the book, and so he was always defending this book. I feel like, whereas so there's some parts of human nature that maybe are not discussed in this book that you would find in the 48 Laws of Power. So it's definitely a good book to read in addition to this. As far as the content of the book itself, there are 12 laws in here. I couldn't recite you the 12 laws, but they all made sense, right? They were all things that I would definitely agree with. There's some really good perspectives here on, you know, some of the ideas about, you know, evaluating yourself, seeing yourself clearly, which is something I talk about all the time. It's also a recurring theme in many of Robert Greene's books. There's some concepts around basically like that people are going to always be kind of having their own selfish motives behind what they're doing, and so you should understand that people are always going to be acting, you know, within alignment of their character. So a lot of times when you see someone doing something in the long term, their underlying character is going to determine what their actual actions are. Okay, so you can't just judge one set of actions or one thing. You have to look at the pattern and see the pattern, right? That we as humans very rarely go astray from the pattern that we generally are in life. So there's a lot of really interesting things, I think. Like I said, the book was not quite as appealing as some of his other books. I was a little bit disappointed. I felt like it was a little bit watered down. It didn't quite give you, you know, those punches, those ruthless punches that there were in the 48 Laws of Power and the Art of Seduction. But again, still really powerful book, really powerful concepts in here for understanding human nature, right? And human nature is a very complicated subject. So it's worth a read for sure. It's definitely, if you're a Robert Greene fan, I would definitely listen to or read this book. I wouldn't skip it, but again, I'm not going to give it the highest rating. If you're not a Robert Greene fan, or, you know, if you haven't read 48 Laws of Power first, I would read that one. That's probably going to give you a better bang for your buck, or The Art of Seduction. But this book is definitely up there for sure, like I said. But again, I just feel like it just didn't pack quite enough punch, if I'm going to be totally honest with you. But I still would recommend the book, and it's still a really good book, and it still has a lot of really good content in it. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button down below. Click the bell so you don't miss any videos, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.